Hey guys, Catlin here with your homework help, and I've got cool down for lesson 5 here with you. We're looking at this spoonful of sugar, cool down. We've got a ceramic sugar bowl that weighs 340 grams when it's empty, and then we fill it with sugar. And 1 tablespoon of sugar weighs 12 and a half grams. That's the information we're given. And our job is to start off by writing an equation that represents this relationship. So let's get down to it. Let's write this equation. And we've got some variables here. W is going to be the total weight of the bowl in grams. We're going to call that W. And then tablespoons of sugar will be represented by the variable T. So let's think about how this is going to play out. We've got to find out what the total weight, so to get to W, we're going to have to add a couple of things together. We're going to have to add the weight of the bowl plus the weight of the sugar. And those two things combined should be the weight of the sugar in the bowl, W, altogether. Now, we know that the bowl is a constant 340 grams. That's not going to change. So that's going to be part of your equation. You just have to think of an expression to represent how much the sugar weighs depending on how many tablespoons of sugar that are in there. So whenever you come up with that, you're going to place it right here. And since every tablespoon weighs 12 and a half grams, you would simply write the expression 12.5 T, or 12.5 times T. There's our equation. All right, let's move on to number 2. When the sugar bowl is full, it weighs 740 grams. How many tablespoons of sugar can the bowl hold? Show your reasoning. So this is talking about when the total weight is 740. So I'm going to replace the W with 740. And then my job is to essentially, from this point, solve how many tablespoons are going to be in there with that weight for everything. So when solving this equation, the first thing that you want to do is you want to get rid of this 340, the weight of the bowl, because that's kind of keeping you from finding out more information about the tablespoons. So if you take the 340 away from both sides, you're left with 12 and a half T on the left, but you do have to subtract 340 from the other side to keep it balanced. So that's going to bring us down to 400. So at this point, we know that 340 from the bowl is taken away from the total to leave us with 400 grams of just sugar, and every 12 and a half of those grams is a tablespoon. So if we can find out what T is, we have our answer. And we just need a number that's multiplied by 12.5 to get that. And to find that answer, we can simply do 400 divided by 12.5. And I think I have a scientific decimals calculator here. We can knock that out real quick. So let's clear this and do 400 divided by 12 and a half, 12.5. And that's going to give me 32 for my answer there. So we're going to come in here and write down my answer there for 32. It's going to take 32 tablespoons of sugar to fill up that bowl. All right, moving on to number 3 over here. So let me get my mug out of the way. The graph represents the relationship between the number of tablespoons of sugar in the bowl and the total weight that's in the bowl. So this right here represents the equation that we wrote, the relationship that we're seeing. This right here is representing it as a graph of the equation. Which point on the graph could represent your answer to this previous question? Well, we're looking when the tablespoons, which are down here, equals 32. So 35, 32, it looks like point D is the one that's representing us at 740 grams, which would make sense. So the point that represents us is point D. And then about how many tablespoons of sugar are in the bowl when the weight is 600. So we go to 600, we come over, the line can kind of give us an estimation. It looks right about here, a little bit past 20, I would say a bit over 20 tablespoons. And there we go. That is your cool down help for the day. Hope you guys found it helpful. See you later.